Hello students, today we are going to start with a new topic, that is North America. This is standard 6 geography and this is the part 1 of it. We will be checking for the learning outcomes of this chapter, that includes location of North America, identifying the different countries of North America, which includes 23 independent nations. We will check for the physical features of North America, which includes your western cordilleras, central lowlands, Appalachian mountain ranges. Okay, then we'll also check for lumberjacks as a case study in Canada. These are the general outcomes of this chapter, but specifically for today's part, we'll be focusing on these subtitles, that is your location boundaries, political divisions, physical features, that is Western Cordilleras and Canadian Shield. Before actually understanding the physical features and political divisions, we'll check for the location of North America. North America is basically, if you check this world map, it is located, this shaded portion with orange color is your North America. Okay, this is the focused map of North America, and location wise it is the part of Northern Hemisphere and Western Hemisphere. Okay, so coming towards the bordering regions or bordering water bodies or the boundaries of it, towards the west it is bordered by North Pacific Ocean, towards the north it is the Arctic Ocean which is bordering it, towards the east is Atlantic Ocean, and towards the south it is mostly the southern part of Pacific Ocean. Some portions here which includes the water bodies includes your Gulf of Mexico, okay, and you have Isthmus of Panama here. Now what is isthmus? Isthmus is nothing but it is the narrow piece of land joining two major land bodies and separating two water bodies. Now what is it joining and what is it separating? It is this Isthmus of Panama is joining North America and South America, and it is separating two water bodies, that is Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. Apart from this, there are other water bodies which are surrounding the continent of North America, includes your Gulf of Alaska, then you have Aleutian Islands, you have a Bering Sea which separates North America from Asia. Okay, these are the places. Then you have other water bodies which includes your Labrador Sea, Hudson Bay also. Now latitude and longitude wise, it is extending from 20 degrees north to 84 degrees north. And it is longitude wise, it is extending from 53 degree west to 180 degree west. Okay, this particular continent is the third largest continent after Asia and Africa, and it has a lot of diverse ecosystem, landforms and climatic variation. Okay, now this is a map showing the political demarcations or political divisions of North America. Now this political divisions of North America says that it has 23 independent nations. Okay, now these 23 independent nations are having their own capital. So this is a slide showing the country or territory and the capital list, which is the part of your textbook, page 72. Okay, now focusing on Greenland, coming towards the Greenland, which is shown with a red color. Though political map on the world map, it is shown as a part of North American continent, but politically, linguistically and economically it belongs to Denmark, which is the part of European continent. Coming towards the physical features of North America, this is a map focusing on important mountain ranges. We have Rocky Mountain Range here, we have Alaska Mountain Range, Brooks Mountain Range, we have Coast Range, we have other important features like it includes your Mackenzie Plateau and so. Okay, now just a very clear picture about the water body surrounding. We have Arctic Ocean here, we have North Pacific Ocean, North Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico, okay, and we have Hudson Bay this side. This is a Great Basin here. We will check for some important features in another slide. Western Cordilleras. Now the term Western Cordillera or the term Cordillera means it is the number of parallel ranges, okay, which has some intervening plateaus. Okay, now these plateaus which are in between the parallel mountain ranges are known as intermontane plateaus, which we studied in the plateau types of plateau in the landform chapter, which says that the plateau is bordered by the mountain ranges. Okay, Now when we are talking about Western Cordilleras, it is made up of n number of ranges. A few ranges which are most important are Pacific Coast Range, Nevadian Range and Rocky Mountain. The general elevation of this mountain ranges includes 3,500 meters, and the highest point is Mount McKinley, which is 6,194 meters above mean sea level. The previous name or the earlier name of this mountain peak was Mount Denali. This is a part of Alaskan Range. So this is a part of Alaskan Range, and the Alaskan Range is here, and the location of Mount McKinley is here. Okay, so this is an image or picture showing Rocky Mountains. A part of Rocky Mountain Range is shown with the help of this image. Okay, this is your Sierra Nevada. If you see these mountain ranges, or a part of this mountain range is covered with snow, that is because of the height. Due to normal lapse rate, as you go higher and higher, temperature drops down. So these mountain ranges at higher altitude experiences snowfall. Okay, then you have Pacific Coast Range. Here also you can see some places the snow cladded mountain ranges. Okay, characteristics of Cordillera, that is your Western Cordillera. This mountain ranges includes more than one range, so there are n number of ranges either parallel to each other, okay, and they are running from north to south. That includes your Coast Range, Middle Range and Rockies. They are almost parallel to the Pacific coast, and the lengthwise they are extending up to 6,500 kilometers. Okay, this particular mountain range of the western part of North America is a part of Pacific Ring of Fire, and there are many volcanic mountain peaks. Okay, now these volcanic mountain peaks, some of the volcanic mountain peaks are active in nature, some are extinct, some are dormant. Okay, along with the mountain peaks which are active, dormant and extinct, you have n number of hot springs and geysers. Okay, now you have a map. We were talking about the Pacific Ring. So this particular area where which is the coast, west coast of North America, is the border or is the part of Pacific Ring of Fire. So you have mountain peaks which are the volcanic mountain peaks. Okay, some of these mountains are active in nature as it is a part of Pacific Plate, which is active in nature. So some of the places where it is active in nature, you have active mountain ranges, and other places you have the extinct and dormant volcanoes. Now coming towards the hot springs and geysers. Now what is a hot spring and what is the geyser? Hot springs is something like a normal spring, like how we have underground water table from where you have the stream moving out. But only thing, in the case of hot spring, the temperature is on the higher side, and why the temperature is on the higher side is mainly because somewhere the interior temperature is very close to the molten magma material, and therefore that water gets heated, the temperature is high, and as the streams move down, it moves down with higher temperature conditions. So streams with higher temperature conditions are hot springs. Now how a hot spring is different from a geyser? When you have this underground water table coming out in the form of fountain, then it is known as geyser. Okay, so we have a Yellowstone National Park here, where you have the Old Faithful geyser, which is again in the form of fountain. Okay, coming towards the intermountain plateaus. Now intermountain plateaus, we have three important plateaus. We have Colorado Plateau, we have Columbian Plateau, and we have Mexican Plateau. So let's check for the location. We have the Colorado Plateau somewhere here, we have the Columbian Plateau somewhere here, and we have the Mexican Plateau here. Okay, now as I said earlier that these plateaus are intermountain plateaus which are surrounded by mountain ranges. So as we have understood about the Western Cordilleras, and we said that the Cordilleras is something which is a parallel range of mountains intervening with the location of plateaus. So the plateaus are in between, and there are many mountain ranges which are surrounding this. Okay, now there is something which is known as Great Basin. Now this Great Basin is again a low-lying area which is surrounded by these mountain ranges and plateaus, and this is bordered by Sierra Nevada, Cascade Range and Rocky Mountains, and it is an inland drainage basin. What is an inland drainage basin? You have a number of rivers moving from the higher elevated areas and move towards the center. So that becomes your basin, and that covers an area of 5,20,000 square kilometer. And at the same time, it is known as inland drainage basin because there are many rivers which are moving towards the center of this basin. So location of this basin is here, the Great Basin. So the Great Basin is surrounded by Coast Range, Cascade Range, some part of Rocky Mountains, okay, and there are many rivers which are moving towards the center. Okay, so this is a picture of Colorado Plateau, and this is River Colorado has carved out the Colorado Plateau. Okay, this is the Plateau of Colombia, and then you have a Mexican Plateau, which is the part of Mexico. Then coming towards the next physical features, that is your Canadian Shield. Now Canadian Shield, let's check the location first. Canadian Shield is located somewhere here, that is the northern part of North America. So it is, you have Hudson Bay, so the surrounding region of Hudson Bay is your Canadian Shield. Okay. Now if you check its location, it is starting almost touching the Arctic Ocean and moves up to the Great Lakes of North America. Right? So that is the location part. This particular shield is also known as Canadian Plateau or Laurentian Shield. Okay. Now what exactly the term shield means? Shield is nothing but it is the most immovable part of the earth's surface. It is the result of volcanic eruption, the lava which gets solidified, okay, and gets converted into hard rocky surface. Such plateaus or such areas are known as shield areas. So one of the part of shield areas is this a Canadian Shield. This whole Canadian Shield together as Canadian Plateau and Laurentian Shield is known as Canadian Shield. As far as age is concerned, it is 2.5 to 4.2 billion years old. It is made up of igneous and metamorphic rocks, and it belongs to the geological period, that is your Precambrian geological period. If you check for the plateau shape or the shield area, you can see it looks like a horseshoe shape. So therefore it is also said that the plateau has a horseshoe shape, and it surrounds the Hudson Bay. Okay, then it stretches up to Great Lake and basically bordering the Ontario Lake. Area wise, it is 80 lakh square kilometer area, and its eastern boundary is Labrador Plateau, and the northern boundary is your Arctic Ocean. Okay. Okay. This is a picture of Canadian Shield. Okay. A quick recall, what we did today is North America. We were focusing on location boundaries. We checked for political divisions, that is your 23 independent nations, a map showing a map of North America, a table with 23 nations and its capitals. Then we checked for two important physical features, that is your Western Cordilleras and Canadian Shield. We also checked the term meaning of Cordillera. We checked for isthmus meaning. Okay. Then we were trying to understand the geological history of the Canadian Shield, its location, and so. Thank you.